All right, guys. Welcome to the Indie Trash Podcast. My name is Josh,
And my name's Alec.
and we will be your album reviewers for the upcoming foreseeable future. Don't worry about what we say too much because these are just our opinions, and our opinions don't really matter.
Right.
So that's important to get that out right out front. So for our reviews, we're going to be breaking down our albums into 5 different criteria. The first one is the production, the music, and the instrumentation. The second category criteria is the content and the lyrics. Third criteria, vocals, flow, specifically for hip-hop albums, vocals for the rest of the music. And then the last 2 criteria is the instant replay that the album has, and then the longevity that the album has. So, going from there, our first album that we're going to be reviewing is Why Me, Why Not by the infamous Liam Gallagher.
Yeah.
So
for those who don't know, Liam is an English singer and songwriter. He earned his fame from being the lead singer of the band Oasis. You've probably heard of them. So after the fallout with his brother Noel, who was the singer, lead guitarist, and songwriter for the band, they split up, and Liam went to form the band BDI. It tried to carry on sort of the Oasis legacy, but fell pretty flat.
Very flat.
A couple of albums, nothing really came of BDI. Nothing too fantastic. But Liam came back in 2017 with his first solo record, As You Were. It was a huge success for him, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And because it brought him back to the spotlight, brought him back to the kind of almost mainstream.
Yeah.
Even though most mainstream music is just kind of pop and rap and stuff, it brought him back to like the, almost like the glory days of Oasis.
Yeah.
Almost. Keyword.
Almost. I think in his head he thinks he's there again, but...
Yeah. But this album is his second solo album. It was released the 20th of September of 2019. It contains 11 songs, 14 if you count the deluxe, ranging from 3 to 4 minutes. So,
pretty good.
Yeah, it's a solid range. Kind of wish there was more diversity in the length of songs.
You wish there were some longer songs?
I wish there were some shorter songs.
Some shorter songs.
We'll get to that. We'll get to
fine.
that.
Okay.
There's 4 writers and producers on this record. We should get that out and ahead. Liam does appear on every songwriting credit.
Yep.
As number 1. But there is some songs that are written with 3 other people. So let's take that in consideration. Sort of not the lead here. I feel like he's really not the lead.
It's a Liam Gallagher album.
Right.
But he didn't necessarily write Liam Gallagher's songs.
Right.
Right. And I remember us talking about this before, and you were saying that one of the songwriters on his first album was responsible for writing Adele songs as well, I believe.
Adele.
So that's the level of maybe pop songwriting that's going into this.
Yeah, so there's sort of this pop mainstream kind of sound being forced into his music. So we'll see. We'll see how that sounds, right? We both have our notes.
Yep.
We both separately took notes. We didn't talk about it at all for the whole week, which is torture.
Yes, it was.
But again, this is our opinion. It's just what, our views are, so don't get offended if you think this is a biblical album or if you think this is total garbage.
Yes, that's another that's another little thing that we'll throw in there that our opinions are, we are both Oasis fans prior to this.
Yes.
So we have that bias going into it to a degree. But from my my perspective, it just seems like Liam's fans hold him to a very high standard,
right,
and they don't seem like he can really do much wrong.
Right.
So we're going to go into this and kind of try to be as neutral as possible. Mm-hmm. Being Oasis fans, I still want to be as neutral as I can be, but we're not here to either just gloat about how great Liam is, and we're
Yeah.
not just gonna tear him down because he's not Noel.
Right. Because he doesn't write the songs on his own. You know,
Yeah.
we're not gonna go there.
Yeah, exactly. Because he
So-
can still, like, I think that multiple songwriters still can turn out something good. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Did they pull something together here?
Yeah, yeah. So, the first song off the new album, Shockwave. It came out as a single. Let's see here. It was the best-selling vinyl record of 2019 in the UK.
The single was.
The single.
That's interesting. Okay, I can see that.
It reached number 1 in Scotland. I believe number 4 or 5. Don't quote me on that. In England and the rest of the UK. So what are your opinions on that song, Josh? When it came out, essentially.
When it came out, I was a little underwhelmed because to me it was very similar to the way that he started releasing singles for his first album. It seemed very similar, very samey.
Yeah.
But with that said, I still think it's a good song. I think it's a good opener. When it came out, back in like June or July, whenever it came out, I remember we were both really excited about it.
Yeah.
And we were both talking about how we couldn't wait for the album to come out. And 5 months later, 6 months later now, I don't think the song really held stood the test of time. I think it's a good song as an opener, but as like a lead single to try and keep me interested in this album for 6 months,
Right.
I don't think it really did the job it was supposed to do. I got over it within like a week of hearing it.
Yeah. So initially, when the song came out, I thought it was very catchy. It was like you said, it was a great start to the album. Heavy guitar lead, heavy drum lead. It's obvious that he tried to, maybe not tried to replicate, but he wrote the song on the same path as Wall of Glass, which was a single from his first album.
I saw a lot of the similarities between Wall of Glass. I'm glad that we kind of both are on the same page about that.
Yeah, yeah. So if you had to rank the song out of 10?
If I had to rate the song out of 10, now we're not doing I don't think a song by song rating and then adding them up at the end. But if I had to give it a rating out of 10, I'd give it a solid, like a solid 6.
Yeah.
I can't see myself giving it a 7 because I've already heard it with Wall of Glass. I
Yeah.
feel like it was more exciting when I heard Wall of Glass.
Right.
And this just seems like a safe opening lead single for a follow-up album.
Yeah. When I first heard the song, I probably would have given it an 8 because I was really excited for
Yeah.
Liam to be back, kind of thing. But now that it's died down, the excitement is gone. I'd probably give it a 6.
Yeah.
It's a safe 6.
Safe 6.
Safe 6.
Okay.
Okay. So the second song off the album, which also released as a single, "One of Us."
Yeah. I'll let you start with your thoughts on this one.
Okay, so the music video for the song was a big production. It was directed by Stephen Knight, who is the director and creator of Peaky Blinders, which is a show.
Oh, it's the show.
Yeah, the show.
Yeah. Okay.
The song was kind of written about his family and sort of reminisces on his brother and how
Yep.
much he misses him.
Yep.
This song. The song is I will give the song the benefit of the doubt. It's very gospel style, very open sounding. It seems like there's a lot going on in the song.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was a very good choice as a second
No.
sort of song off the album.
Yeah, like a second single, and also it's the second song on the album.
Yeah.
So the first 2 songs that we got released in anticipation for the album are also the first 2 songs that you listen to while you're listening to the album. And I agree that it's a bit all over the place.
Yeah.
Vocally, thematically, what he's trying to say. Instrumentally, I thought it reminded me kind of a bit of some of Noel stuff with High Flying Birds.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to go back and specifically listen to it, but it almost sounded like there were moments where I could have heard Noel singing over the instrumental on maybe his first two solo albums, which again just seemed to be kind of safe. Yeah, I didn't think, and I didn't watch the music video, so I didn't really maybe get so many of the themes that I'm sure you picked up on with his family and whatnot. But there's some really heavy-handed lyrics here, which are lacking some definite subtlety.
Yeah.
Saying that you want to live forever.
Yeah,
or you
yeah.
said we would live forever.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that to me just sounds like a big slap in the face to the guy who wrote the song Live Forever.
Yeah.
And the pace of the song I think is also a big problem because it's a slower song. It's not quite as slow as the next song, but it's a more introspective song. It's not like a rock song. And for some reason they're following up arguably one of the most rock like songs on the album immediately with this slower tempo, more introspective song, which I think maybe if it's put near the end of the album, it could have added more, but I'm an immediate skip once the second song comes on now.
Yeah, I just don't think it was a very good second choice, or
No.
I guess second song off the album.
Yeah.
It was just kind of dull. Like I don't know, like you've never seen the music video for it, but they actually go where they filmed the Wonderwall video.
Yeah, I remember.
And
you
they
telling me
sat
this.
down with I think him as a child, and I think Noel as a child.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like a little, like you said, like heavy-handed. Like it doesn't have any kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the only emotional thing that they're trying to push is like this feeling of wanting Oasis to get back together.
Right.
Which isn't something like I personally feel that, but I don't want to hear about that in music.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather just Oasis music. Don't sing about how much you wish Oasis would, get back together.
Yeah. And I don't know, the song just seems really pandering to the Liam fans.
Yes.
Without outright saying it, I think the song is pandering because it is. It's definitely a song that doesn't, I don't know, to listeners who aren't necessarily Liam Gallagher fans, it doesn't seem like it's a very good song.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we agree on that.
Yes.
It's just lacking.
It's lacking. It's lacking it's lacking. If I was a new listener, like you said, I wouldn't be able to listen to this and really take anything away from it. If I don't know Oasis, if I don't know the history, I'm not taking anything away from the song.
Right. But his third song off the album, oh boy, let's talk about that.
Yep.
The song Once. Oh boy. Once is probably my least favorite song off this album.
Yep.
I can say that right now.
I think you're right. That's a fair assessment.
Once, it's extremely similar to Breathe Easy Now, which is a Ian Brown song from the Stone Roses, with a hint of like John Lennon's. I don't know if you know the song Jealous Guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's striking like how similar it is, right? You can see his influences in the song definitely, but it doesn't necessarily hold anything. Like it's hard to describe. I think it's slow. I think it's dull, and it doesn't hold any value to it whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's I think one of the main issues I have with this album is that it takes a very almost like an immature stance on emotional subjects. So the topic of Once is this idea that you are going through something, but you're only going to be able to do it once, which I think is a cool idea in and of itself that resonates with people. But there's something just like almost immature and not authentic about the way that he's singing it and the way that I think the song is portraying the message. And like that's just the theme of the song. The music itself, the vocals, I think are like not good.
Yeah.
at all. Like I don't think Liam's vocals are good in the song.
Yeah.
They're pretty grating, and like you said, like the music. I mean, at least with Ian Brown, he kind of like there's a real authenticity to Ian Brown's music
Right.
that you can appreciate almost as, even if it's not the most listenable, it's still a work of art in its own respect. With this, I feel like I'm listening to a 16-year-old, 40-year-old man who's trying to describe the emotions that he's going through.
Right.
And it comes off as just really like I don't connect with it in any way. And I would agree that it's my least favorite song on the album.
Yeah, I find it annoying.
Yeah.
It's a very annoying song.
It is.
And when the song was released, of course I'm a part of Oasis fan groups like on Facebook and stuff. I was flooded with Once covers. I was flooded with them. I couldn't escape them.
Yeah.
Everybody and their moms was essentially playing the song on acoustic guitar.
Now,
And
did any of them bring the song New Light?
No.
No, you didn't
No.
connect with any of them in a way that maybe you didn't connect with Liam's.
No. Every single cover sounded like the exact same version
Yeah?
of Liam's song. Which, you know what? If it's such a good song to like his audience that they actually get out there and record it and play it for the world, or sorry, play it for
The
Facebook community.
Yeah.
That's good. I think that's good.
Yeah.
So that is what I take away from the song, is that it's so easy and so lackluster that everybody, including their moms,
Yep.
including their mothers, played it on Facebook.
Yep. I think, you know what, if it brings joy to even a small Facebook
Yeah.
community or group,
Right.
you know what?
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Maybe that's all he was trying to do. Who are we to impart our artistic judgments on a guy who just wanted to make a Facebook
Song.
a Facebook song, so that way Facebook people could cover it.
Right. And I heard so many people say that the song is biblical. And
Yes.
that's the key word here
Yep.
for this album is biblical. We have to
Yep.
compare everything to what people say
Yep.
online, right? So everybody calls it biblical. And it's, I'm sorry, but it's not. He's got other songs on here
Which I think are good.
which I think are very good.
Yeah.
Some of them. But this one is very much not that.
Yeah. Yep. And I think, and it's a weird thing with the singles that he released, because like we said, Shockwave is basically Wall of Glass.
Yeah.
Super similar in almost every way.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got these two slower songs, which I think they're just trying to show this, like, I don't know, fake sense of maturity from Liam.
Yeah.
Which is what I keep getting from a lot of these songs. It's this fake, not authentic sense of like who he is as a person, and it just comes off as immature, and I just don't connect with it.
Yeah. But the next song
Next song.
Let's
get to the next song.
is very good. It's Now That I've Found You.
Yep.
This song, I don't. It's a very good song.
Yep.
I would call it the best song on the album.
Yeah, it's probably the best song. I think there's other really good songs which I think are not going to get as much attention as this one, because this was, I think, the last single
Yeah. This one was actually released as a single after
the
album came out,
Yeah.
like in October.
So this was like the final big song that they used to hype the album, and I think it's like a really, really good choice, because this is a song that somebody who, you know, has never heard of Oasis, never heard of Liam or Noel, they can listen to this and still have a good time, enjoy the music, enjoy the rhythm. It's catchy.
Yeah.
You know, it's overall like a really enjoyable song.
Yeah. Best song, hands down, I think, on the album. Has, like you said, lots of replayability.
Yep.
The song picks up really well after the disappointing Once.
Yeah.
I think it really cleans up that mess,
Yeah.
sort of, and it gets you back into the groove of the album.
Yep.
You know, it's very similar to, in my opinion, the song Songbird, which Liam wrote 2003, I think. I think it still carries that sort of like rhythm and similarities with the acoustic,
Yeah.
you know. And honestly, it's just a catchy, easy to listen to song.
Yeah. Which is what I like a lot of it. It doesn't feel like he's trying to do anything it feels very Liam. It feels very comfortable for him. You showed me that video of him doing the unplugged,
Yeah, the MTV,
the acoustic version of it.
MTV Unplugged.
Yeah. So the song's like right there within his key range, like his range. You know, it's a good key for him to sing in. And it's like it was the first song that I heard off the album that I didn't feel like I had to force myself to listen to.
Right.
Like I kind of forced myself to listen to Shockwave because it was the new Liam single.
Yeah, One of Us.
Forced myself and don't think I could make it through it when the single came out, and then same thing with Once. I couldn't make it through it.
Oh man.
And then this one came out and really it restored my faith in what could have been the album.
Yeah, yeah. And it sort of gave us this idea of, okay, maybe we can actually review this album because we haven't given it the light of day.
Exactly.
Like I think we forgot to mention that in the beginning where
Yeah.
we skipped this album. Like
Yeah.
we were super hyped for it back in July,
Oh yeah.
June even. I think
Yep.
when the first Shockwave kind of tease came out, we were excited. And with all these singles coming out, it sort of died down, and we lost that connection with it. And then it came out in September, and we both went, "Oh, it's out."
Yeah. And neither of us have listened to it.
Yeah, until this week.
Yeah. And
last week.
We're now in December.
Yeah, it's December.
So 2 whole months of a Liam Gallagher album being out, and we have not listened to anything really besides the singles, and maybe a little skim here and there, just to turn it off. Really.
Yeah, yeah. We never really gave it the light of day, but the song was great.
Song was great.
Now That I Found You was a great song.
Yep.
So what about the next song, Halo?
All right, so this is an interesting one. The instrumental, I think, is really weird. Mm-hmm. It's very ragtimey. Mm-hmm. You got the piano kind of bouncing around, which, like this all kind of blends into like a bigger point. But I think it's a fun track. Mm-hmm. I think Liam sounds really good over it. Mm-hmm. But that alone I don't think the song fits in with the album. I don't think once you hear that the bouncing keyboards and the ragtime kind of sound, it throws me out. It throws like right out of the loop, and I don't really know where it's gonna go from there, and it stands out quite a bit.
Yeah.
But with that said, I do really like the song.
Yeah, I'm going to go on a limb here and say that Halo is a BDI song.
Okay.
By what I mean by that is that there's a song, I was doing way too much research. There's a song called "Bring the Light" by BDI.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard it.
No, I think I think you would know a lot more about BDI. I know like the Roller, and I think something about an apple and an eye. The eye of the apple, of the eye. I don't know, something like that.
But there's a song called "Bring the Light" by BDI, which is a very 50s, 60s. It sounds very similar. Like it sounds like where it left off. Like it picks up from where it left off.
Really?
It's very much that. I'll just show you after we're done recording.
Yeah.
But I feel like it picks up from that. And I'm not a big fan of that song.
No?
So when I heard the song, I was kind of like, oh, it just sounds like a BDI song. But again, I think it's a good song, but maybe doesn't fit necessarily in this album.
That was my main issue with it, is that it does stand out a bit like a sore thumb. Mm-hmm. The piano, like there's no other song on here that has really a piano at all that I heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's this one that's just got this 50s ragtime piano.
And do you remember the recorder solo in the song? Do you remember the recorder solo?
I don't.
There's like a minute-long recorder solo.
Is there?
I honestly, I think the song is good. I think it has like a lot of good things going for it. It just doesn't necessarily fit in the album, and it's a little long. And the lyrics are very repetitive in the song. Yeah. That's what I took from it. I was like, I was just kind of aching to go to the next song. I thought the beginning was good. I was like, maybe it doesn't fit necessarily, but again, it missed the mark with me. Yeah. It was a little long.
And also remember, this is the song that's following up what is now our favorite song on the album. So when we're listening to this album, I want each song to kind of just like push me to the next song and make me want to keep listening. Now That I Found You did that with me. Mm-hmm. I wanted to hear the next song, and now we're at the next song. Yeah. And I'm kind of once again wondering, why did they make the creative decisions that they made on this? Right. And now that's my once again, instead of focusing on how the music and what it's doing, I'm now focusing on why are they doing what they're doing.
Right. I think the song would have been better towards the end of the album, or maybe in the deluxe.
I think the deluxe would have been a good.
Right.
That's where you can throw the randoms that don't really cohesively fit in with the other 11, 10 songs.
Exactly. And finally, sorry, not finally at all. Why Me, Why Not?
Yeah.
Which is a song named after the album.
The title
the
track.
title track, yes.
Yep.
Why Me, Why Not? How do you feel?
How do I
Josh?
feel?
How do you feel?
Musically, it reminded me of Waiting for the Rapture. It's got the drums, the steady drum beat. And then you got Liam doing this kind of like, I don't really know what the musical term is for it, but he just keeps walking down his notes. And it's a very like that technique is used all the time in songs where you kind of just like E flat, D flat, whatever, and you just kind of keep walking down in the why me, why not, and it just kind of keeps walking down. So it's very, as soon as I heard it, I recognized it. And for for the title track, I'm not supposed to, as soon as I hear the first 6 words, I'm not supposed to feel like I've already heard the song before.
Right.
And that's how I felt when I listened to it.
Right.
I do think the chorus is catchy, and in the chorus, Liam goes high up into his range. He has, I forget what word or what phrase he puts the emphasis on, but he goes higher, and I think it sounds really good. The chorus is definitely the standout part of the song, but every time it keeps coming back to that, him doing that like, why me? Why not? And it just like, it grates in my ears. And I was driving around work today, just like doing like a fake, obnoxious, nasally Liam impression to myself.
Yeah.
And that's, again, like one of the, vocally, I think it's, in that aspect, it's not great when he's doing that. But then the chorus comes around, and it's like a pretty catchy chorus. And he does a lot more interesting things vocally, at that point. I was just a little bit underwhelmed by the song.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes, I wrote down "feel the confidence," because I feel like when he does, like when he sings the chorus, you can hear him, like I feel like he does connect with the song.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's a heavy orchestra, heavy drum lead, and I do think it's a very good song. But I kind of wish it was shorter. That's my only take from this, is that the song is too long. I kind of wish it was a 2-minute song.
Right.
Right, so it can kind of like keep you entertained while you're listening to the album.
Right.
Right. Like you said, you feel like you heard the whole song in the first, first 6 seconds.
Yeah.
You feel like you've heard the whole song already.
Exactly.
So if it was a 2-minute song, it would just get it over with. Good song, keep going. But again, it goes too far. Right? Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have that going for it. It's too long. Just get it out of the way.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a problem with a lot of these songs, that they do tend to overstay their welcome.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear the same chorus repeated 3 times at the end, when you could just repeat it once and then just wrap up the song and save yourself however much time that would take.
Right. But the next song, Be Still, I don't know. I really enjoyed the deep bass riffs in this song.
Yeah,
I will give it that.
I thought, honestly, I wrote down that this was a great rock tune.
Yeah.
It didn't try to do anything too special. It was a great key for Liam to sing in. He sounded really natural. He didn't sound like he was going nasally. He sounded like, I think it must have been in a similar key to like Now That I Found You, where it just kind of feels like he can really be comfortable. Chorus is killer. I thought it was a pretty awesome song.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of like a faster version of The Roller by BDI.
Okay.
That's the kind of that's what I tried to compare it to. Like you said, I thought it was a good rock song.
Yep.
Like I said, heavy bass riff. And I think everything on it is just good.
Yeah.
It's good to great, kind of in between a good and great.
I think it's a well executed song.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good song idea. They did it right. They did it well. The lyrics, nothing in the lyrics made me like cringe
Yep.
Nothing in his pronunciation or enunciation of his words made me cringe either. So I was pleased.
If you weren't a Liam fan, you could still enjoy the song.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just as a good rock song that I would want to put on while doing something that you would listen to rock music to.
Exactly. Like cleaning your house.
Or writing a poem.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Not much to say about that song.
No, I thought it was good.
And that's where I feel like, like as the songs kind of, as it goes down and down and down, like it gets further down the list of songs, I feel like there's almost less to talk about.
Yeah, because I think we kind of know what we're in for with this album.
Yeah.
And I agree that there is less to talk about because each song, in a way, is very samey. Mm-hmm. It's either a good rock song, and by a good rock song, I don't mean something that's groundbreaking or innovative and something that you haven't heard before. It's going to be something that's familiar, but that you're going to want to listen to because it's executed well. And then on the other hand, you have things which are also going to sound familiar because you've heard them before, but they're not going to be as interesting or as, passionate or... So those are the two sides that we're dealing with, and it seems like almost every song seems to kind of fall into one of those two categories.
Yeah. So the next song is All Right Now.
Yep, and I felt like this was basically just One of Us Part 2.
Yep.
Nothing special.
No.
And I have nothing else to say about it because my opinion on it is basically just whatever I said when we were talking about One of Us.
Yeah. You can definitely hear the John Lennon influence. Yeah. Right? And this is where we have to talk about Liam's obsession
with John Lennon, the
Beatles.
Yeah.
And bands like the Stone Roses. He pulls his influences in, but he spits them out just as trying to copy them. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily feel like he's trying to be him with a little bit of John Lennon and a little bit of Ian Brown and a little bit of Paul McCartney and whoever else, right?
Yeah.
I feel like what he does is that he pulls the influences in and then spits them out just as his interpretation of that.
Yep.
Sorry, his copy of that, I shouldn't say. Yeah. And this song, it's got a nice piano, bass riff. I really enjoyed the electric guitar solo in it.
Okay.
There's that little solo, and I did like that. The lyrics were kind of generic. Again, not much to say.
Yeah, I didn't write much down I didn't write anything down actually as far as the instrumentation goes. I got like a minute and a half into the song, and then I just realized that it was basically like sonically, to me, it sounded almost identical to One of Us. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I wished One of Us would be, was at this point in the album. So he did give us that. He gave us, but I only wanted one of these songs. I didn't need two. So thank you, Liam.
With the next song, Meadow, another back-to-back Lennon Beatles inspired song.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap. Very similar to sort of the Let It Be Abbey Road years of Lennon's songwriting.
Yeah.
His like the Beatles style. The song's long. I found it a lot similar to the last song that we listened to.
Yep.
All Right Now, which is very similar to
One of Us.
One of Us.
Yep. Seeing a pattern.
So it feels like we've listened to One of Us 3 times now.
Yeah.
And I really wish that wasn't...
There was a fourth one,
There was a fourth one, yeah, obviously.
That's the next song.
That's all I want to hear is One of Us again and again and again.
Yep.
But then, again, there's not much we can say about this song. It's long. It's just kind of like almost annoying.
Yep.
We're not, we have to look at this album like we're not Oasis fans. We have to look at it like we're just anybody who just puts the album on.
Yep.
And I feel like it doesn't it only panders to Liam fans.
Yeah.
The third song in the row that just pushes this like, oh, I'm better than Noel. Oh, like, love me. And it's kind of insulting.
Yep.
Coming from an Oasis fan. Not necessarily a Noel or a Liam fan, just as an Oasis fan, I feel like the song is is just, not very good.
Yep, I didn't get much more than you did out of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was very underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And the only other note that I really wrote down about it is that the chorus sounds and is lyrically almost identical to a song called Someday by a band called Peace, where they sing about having a lonely, lonely, lonely life. And Liam in this song sings about having a lonely, lonely, lonely life as well.
Yep.
And the inflections, the way that it's sang, is super similar.
Yep.
So I'll just leave it at that. And
Yep.
I think Someday is a better song than Meadow by Liam.
There we go. The
So-
next song, The River.
Oh yes, this was one of the singles that we, I guess, forgot to. This must have been the single before Now That I Found You.
Yes.
We're probably messing the order of the singles.
I feel like we are, because we haven't done
Yeah, our homework.
our complete homework here.
Yeah, because this is our first episode.
Exactly. So don't hate.
Don't hate, don't at
the
me.
the song The River. What did you get from it?
So again, this was a stretch of the album where I didn't take many notes because I didn't have much to say.
Right.
So you will have got that vibe from every song since Be Still. Mm-hmm. Every song I have had very few notes.
Yeah.
The River, all I wrote down was that it was fake woke.
Yes.
And it was all the lyrics were very politically charged, very socially charged,
Anti-establishment.
but also talking about waking the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
You can censor that for the younger audiences.
Children. Yeah.
The 12-year-olds who no doubt are listening to this review of Liam's album,
Yes.
because that's who his fans are.
Typical.
Jokes.
Oh.
Jokes.
Oh.
The lyrics to the song were just so insufferably pretentious about, like, I didn't write this down, so I don't have any specific examples of the lyrics, but like they're just so politically wanting to be a step ahead of the curb, and like there was a lyric about stepping out of your weed smoke. So here we have Liam Gallagher telling people to wake the fuck up and step out of their cloud of weed smoke, which is not what I want to hear from Liam Gallagher, the guy who did all the drugs in the world.
All of the drugs.
Yeah, but now he's telling me to step out of my cloud of weed smoke.
Like the song, like we said, is anti-establishment. A very spacey kind of sound to it. I think his voice was pretty good in the song.
Yeah, vocally, I
think he pretty much nailed that.
Yep.
It's one of those songs you can't really write a lot of notes about, because you kind of feel like you've heard it before.
Yeah.
This is the recurring pattern now on the album, is we've heard these songs before.
Yeah. Yep.
Again, you can hear the Ian Brown Beatles influence right at the end of the album. In a lot of these songs that are all together, you can definitely hear
Oh yeah.
his
Absolutely.
his copy of that.
Yep.
And the last song off the album, without the deluxe edition, is Gone. How do you stand on Gone, Josh?
So I actually did write some notes for this song.
Okay. Yeah.
Decent amount here. The lyrics are clearly about Noel cutting off Liam, despite Liam making him a sensation in Oasis. Very self-important. Very, once again reminding us that Liam is an important part of Oasis, and that a lot of the troubles and conflict are probably because of Noel, and it's very, very petty in a sense.
Yeah.
Musically, I thought the bridge in the song was really cool. Liam goes into this weird like it kind of like the music kind of like cuts down a bit, and then Liam starts going into this like lower register and starts like kind of doing like a talking
spoken
word bit, which I thought was an awesome little thing to include there. And maybe that's just some of my personal music tastes coming through, because I like that kind of stuff in music.
Yeah.
But it really it broke up the song. I can't think of an example really for much of the album where there's a part in a song that really drastically changes the flow of the song
Mm-hmm.
just to have it go back to, the chorus at the end
Right.
and rap on something familiar. Every song on this album is kind of just verse, chorus, solo, chorus.
Right.
And this one, out of nowhere, we start hearing Liam talk.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really realistic and, passionate way to kind of close out the album.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the orchestra part of the song. Spoken word, the hushed tones. I honestly thought it was like a good song.
Yeah.
It's a little long.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
the songs are too long. Kind of wish they were shorter. Sort of, what's the album, the Oasis album with the shorter songs?
Oh,
it's
Don't Believe the Truth.
Yeah, Don't Believe the Truth.
That album has like 2.5-minute songs on there.
Yeah, and you know what? That's kind of what I was expecting from this album. I wasn't expecting such a large production.
Because we got that on the first album.
Right. So you'd think that you'd get something different.
Yeah.
On the second album.
Because typically that's what artists do, right? Is that they evolve, they change, they grow.
Yeah, and I thought the song was very similar, and that's probably why I like it so much, is to like the last Shadow Puppets first album. Like the song kind of gave me those vibes, kind of like a James Bond, hushed tone, spoken word, simple kind of song. How do you think it? Do you think it's a good last song off the album?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a good song to sort of end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it gives the album a sense of closure. I'd have to go back and listen to what Liam was talking about during the spoken word passage and kind of really pick up on it a little bit more. But I thought it did give the album a sense of closure, and then it fires back up with Shockwave at the beginning again if you're going to listen to the album on repeat. And I think they do blend into each other really nicely. And with all the themes that we were talking about with Noel and Liam and whatnot, I feel like this song really does bring a sense of closure to some of that, at least from what he wants to say. So I did like it as a final song.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good way to wrap up the album.
And the 3 deluxe songs.
Yeah. So I don't know if you'll have much to add to it, just because I know because we listened to it.
Yeah, I did all my work and pretty much all my research the day before, right? And I totally forgot about the 3 deluxe songs.
Yeah.
So Josh, we're gonna have to go by your notes, and we'll see if I can remember.
Yeah.
A little bit about the songs.
So Invisible Sun is the first one. And there's a reference to come together, how we wish, like wanting to all come together.
Yeah.
Which is, again, a heavy-handed Beatles reference from the very unsubtle Liam Gallagher.
Yeah.
And I thought this was just a typical song that had typical song structure and nothing that I could really get excited about.
Yeah, from what I remember, it's a bit lackluster.
Lackluster. You said it was long.
It was long. I think weren't we sitting here?
Yeah.
Was it that song or was it the next song?
I think it might be the next.
It's the next song. It's which we will get to now. The next song.
Which is Misunderstood.
Yeah.
And you were saying that you thought this one also had a Ian Brown vibe to it, right?
Again, with the Ian Brown and the John Lennon vibes. This is a slow, a very much almost like a mix between Once and Now That I Found You. That's kind of where I put it. Not quality-wise, but I feel like that's kind of where I sat with when I was listening to it. And again, the song's too long. We were sitting here and we were setting everything up and we were just listening to it. And I was like, man, the song is long. And that sort of got... Because, of course, we didn't talk about the album or any of the songs beforehand, but I just had to come out and say, geez, the song is too long.
Yep.
We got to skip it.
Yep.
And you were like, okay, I'm going to put on the next song.
Yep. I thought the song has a nice melody, and you were kind of singing it when we were listening to it. But there's a lot of religious lyrics and symbolism about like christening and praying and angels and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that, doesn't really sit right in my head. I can't listen to that and just enjoy it, I guess, because it just, like I said, it seems fake. It doesn't seem authentic to me.
Right.
I don't want to hear about Liam singing about angels and christening. That's not what I go to Liam Gallagher. That's not what I want to hear really in any of my music. Especially not from a guy like Liam, whose music, his voice, from what I know about him, none of that seems to really align with, what he's singing about.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem real to me. No matter how nice the melody and the vocal structure is. And it is a pleasant song to listen to. Like, you can have it on in the background.
And it's catchy.
It's catchy.
Yeah,
it's pleasant.
A very catchy, easy to listen to song.
Yep. But
that's not something you want to hear from Liam.
No.
This isn't a Liam song. Again, he had people write this song.
Yep.
And it's kind of insulting.
Yep. And I showed you, but when I first listened to it, the chorus reminded me a lot of the chorus for a song by the Kaiser Chiefs called "Coming Home."
Yeah.
So if you get the chance, check that out. And
it's just a better version of this.
A better version of this song. So let me know what you think of that.
And the last song off the album, completely last song.
The very last song off of the deluxe edition of Why Me, Why Not is called Glimmer.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say this out right off the bat. I don't know why Liam is singing over this, because it sounds like an indie pop song.
Yes.
With like something that I would listen to, but once again,
just not from Liam.
Not from Liam.
Yes.
And I literally wrote here that it reminds me of an indie pop song. Why is Liam singing over this? Cute song, though.
Cute song, though.
It is a cute song.
Those are the key words. Cute song, though.
Yes.
This is Liam out of his element.
Very out of his element.
He doesn't sound right.
No. Like, I imagine that if one of your Facebook groups wanted to, flood with their pages with covers of this, I bet you could find a cute cover that would sound good.
Yes, because it's not Liam singing it.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, this is a song written by a group of people who write Adele songs.
Exactly.
So why is Liam doing this?
Yes.
That's the key. Liam is a rock star. He was an icon, and I don't think I can really call him an icon anymore because he's missing the key ingredients to an icon.
Yeah.
To like a real rock and roll star.
Like, do you think What's the Story, Morning Glory, Liam in 1995 or even in like 2005 before they split up?
Yeah.
Do you think he would have ever sang over a song like this?
No.
Of course
you couldn't
not.
pay him enough money to sing over a song
because he
like
was
this.
singing over cigarettes and alcohol.
Yes. Or rock and roll star.
Exactly.
Or, any other Oasis song, essentially.
Yeah.
And he's out of his element. That's all I can say.
Yep.
He's out of his element. I don't know what he was doing with the song. I very much remember this song. This is why I'm like, I'm throwing more in now because I remember the song and the just obscurity and just the weirdness. Yep. Not even a good weird. It just sounds uncomfortable. It's a very uncomfortable, out of his element song.
And it's the last song on the deluxe album.
Yeah.
So this is what you're gonna hear. You're gonna hear this cute little, like, this little guitar riff and these quick drums and whatnot. Not booming drums. These like quick little, like, I don't know, like snare and like maybe a little hi hat or something. You're gonna hear that, and then the next thing you're gonna hear is Shockwave.
Yeah.
So talk about a, like, I don't know what that word is, but a drastic difference between what you're listening to and what you're gonna listen to. Because at least Gone is, a natural wrap up, and then it goes back into Shockwave.
Yeah.
But if you're listening to the deluxe edition, you're not afforded that. You don't get to enjoy that smooth transition between the end of the album back into the beginning. So with the deluxe edition, not a lot of replay value.
No, which is sad.
Yeah.
Because you think that the deluxe edition would be something that you'd be proud to own.
Yeah.
You
look forward to those deluxe songs.
And to those extra songs.
Yeah.
But just missing it.
Yeah, and I think that. Oh, we're just gonna take a quick pause here and say hello to our friend Dana.
Hi, Dana.
Good morning. Dana, we're just recording a podcast. Don't mind us.
You want to say hi?
Hi, podcast.
There you go.
All right. Bye, Dana.
Bye, Dana. Oh, that's okay.
We're going to our next segment anyway.
One more next segment.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is the 5 categories.
The 5 categories. Yep. And I broke those down for mine.
Yep.
So we'll go back and forth, I think.
Right.
We'll start with the music. Out of 10, I gave it a 6.
Yep, me too.
Because maybe I was even being generous with it. The music to me doesn't really, like the instrumentation, the production is super clean. Not the raw production that you got on something like Definitely Maybe. Not the spacey but like gritty and still beautiful production that you got on like What's the Story, Morning Glory. This is very similar to his first album, As You Were.
Yeah. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. His first album, in my opinion, was a good album. There's lots of, I think, good songs on that.
Yeah.
Not so much great, but good. And like you said, the production for this album was very high. There's that orchestra. There's, and I think some of his lyrics in the song are like on this album are really good. You kind of almost get that Liam of the past vibes from some of the songs.
Okay.
And you can, I don't know. I don't feel like he necessarily, I feel like he wanted to change, but he went in the wrong direction. He went too, I think he went in the wrong direction. Yeah.
In the sense that he tried too much to appeal to his fans.
His fans, and with the song Glimmer, and having to hear One of Us 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
It's just all over the place,
Yeah.
And it's missing that Liam touch, the Oasis touch.
Yeah. It's almost like it seems like they took the safest elements of his first album.
Yeah.
And just pushed all those ideas into the second album and didn't allow him to really explore outside of that little window that Warner Brothers, shots fired, we're coming after you, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, we are.
I'm saying that's probably has something to do with it.
Yeah. Because he was an indie artist, right? He was independent during the Oasis days, and Warner Brothers just seemed like the highest bidder.
Yeah.
They
Exactly.
pretty much bought him out, gave him a couple songwriters, give him the guy who writes Adele songs, and all these other artists like write their songs, like and it's missing again. It's missing the Oasis touch. It's missing the Liam touch.
Yeah.
At least with BDI, you can almost like understand what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
But with this, it just seems like mainstream sound, but with Liam just thrown on top.
Exactly. Like, for all the faults that BDI has, I would call it more authentic than really anything off the last 2 albums. I enjoyed his first album, but I still can only appreciate it for what it is, which is a pretty much a pop rock album.
Yeah, for what it's worth.
For what it's worth.
Right.
Oh, that's what it's called, for what it's worth. I think I said As You Were, which is just his phrase that he says.
No, As You Were is the album.
For what it's worth is the song.
No, I was just trying to say because I was like,
yes.
For what it's worth.
For what it's worth.
And what you said.
And whatever I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The second category, content and lyrics.
Content and lyrics. I gave it a 7. I thought his even though I don't think his lyrics are great, and I do cringe at them once in a while, especially on a few of the songs, I did like what he was trying to do with songs like Once, songs like Gone, and I thought the lyrics for Be Still and Now That I Found You were pretty great. So I'm gonna give him a comfortable, safe 7.
Comfortable, safe 7.
Yeah.
Like I said, content wise, there's a lot that's going on. I feel like he carried, like, I don't know, it's hard to say. You can hear the influences, right? Again, with the Ian Brown and the John Lennon and the Beatles, you can definitely hear it. The lyrics, like you said, sometimes it can be campy, a little forced, but they still hold up.
Yeah.
Liam is there, he's doing it. I think he's trying his best, which is good. But at the end of the day, it's obvious he had people waiting for him.
Yeah.
I think that's where it kind of falls flat. I also gave it a safe 7.
Okay.
So
Good.
yeah, we stand pretty much the same right now.
Yep. Yep.
As
Neck
of
and
right
neck.
now. Yep. The next category, vocals.
Yep.
I thought he sounded really good.
Yep.
I think he sounds not as good as Oasis days, but I think he's getting back there.
Yep.
I think he's improved since As You Were.
Yep.
In a sense where he's comfortable hitting those notes and like why me, why not? Like you said, the chorus. I think the chorus is fantastic in that song.
Yep.
Now That I Found You, he's not forcing it. I feel like he's going with it. I really feel like he's going with the flow. He's organized. You can obviously hear that it's Liam Gallagher, right? So if you don't like Liam Gallagher, you're probably not going to like this album because his voice appears a lot in this album, as you could imagine.
It does.
With the similarities between All Right Now and Meadow, and all the songs that sort of blend in with each other. It almost feels like the same song, making me feel like I'm listening to to just one really long song in the middle of the album. But I gave it a safe 7. I think Liam's voice is great. It still holds up. Yep. I think he's still talented. I just don't want to see him fall back to the days where he can't sing in front of, when he played at the Olympics.
Yeah, that was bad.
Where he sang Wonderwall, and it sounds like somebody doing a bad impression of Liam Gallagher singing Wonderwall.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see him fall back to those days. But I think it's a good step forward. I think it's not like a whole step, kind of like a half step.
Like a half step.
Like a half step. Safe half step. So I also gave it a 7.
I like that. Musical puns. Or musical, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
A good half step. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought vocally, he was really good on this album.
Yeah.
Especially, like you said, the latter years of Oasis were kind of plagued with Liam's vocal issues. Mm-hmm. And then that carried over into BDI, which was a big reason why I couldn't get into BDI, because vocally he was very rough.
Yeah.
Could barely carry a tune. And that kind of peaked when he did his Olympic performance, like you said. Mm-hmm. And then, I think he took a couple years off after that to kind of try and like get his shit together. And then he came back with As You Were, vocally a great album. And I was excited to see where he was going to go from there. And I started watching like live videos of him, and he sounded, pretty great. Mm-hmm. Not quite as good as Liam did in his early days of Oasis, which I think it's unrealistic to think that quality of Liam will ever come back. But on this album, at least, like vocally, I think he sounds pretty great. There's moments where I'm not a huge fan of it, but I think he was really able to kind of find songs that really suited his vocal range.
Right.
And he was able to comfortably sing within them. I think it is a bit of a step down from As You Were.
Okay.
There was a little bit more diversity on As You Were. This one, I think he's hitting higher notes, but there was almost more melody, I think, on As You Were. Mm-hmm. Some of the songs, Paper Crown, other songs that are Chinatown right. that are escaping my memory at the moment.
Yeah.
I think those ones kind of have a sweeter, more memorable melody, which kind of is easier to listen to. But yeah, no, vocally, I think it was a really solid album. He really came through, and I gave him a 7.
Yeah.
Probably would have given him an 8 on the first album if we reviewed it.
Right.
Because it was such a step up from what I had heard.
Yeah, from BDI.
BDI and the last couple years of Oasis, that it was such a drastic, like, wow, he's holding his tunes, he's doing things vocally that are creative. And then this album, still really good, but there weren't quite as many moments that, like, really stood out to me. And if anything, there were a few moments that did kind of grade away at me. Mm-hmm. So for that, I'd give it a 7.
Right. Instant Replay. Is this a song that you can see yourself playing over and over again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 2 songs on here I would put into it. There's only about 2 songs in here that I would want to listen to in a playlist.
Exactly.
So there's not a lot of instant replay.
No. Now That I Found You is a song that we will continue to listen to. I think it was one of my most played
Yeah, I think it was.
songs on Spotify this year, and which is weird because it's, it's only been out for
half a year, or a little more than that.
yeah,
now.
yeah. So, and I thought, that was a great song.
Yep.
And there's some songs on here that I can see myself listening to, over and over again. I put them on a playlist, and I won't skip them.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like with half this album, I would skip it.
Exactly.
Oh,
so
I'd skip it so quick.
the album as a whole, do you think it has instant replay? We know Now That I Found You has a lot of instant I'd want to listen to that over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
The album?
No, it falls flat with the instant replay.
Yeah.
I gave it a 4.
Huh, that's what I gave it.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Look at that.
yeah, it looks like, it's coming up.
Are we neck and neck right now?
I think we're neck and neck.
Oh boy, so
I think we're even.
Uh-oh, so the longevity. This is what it's all going to come down to.
I don't necessarily think this album holds up. It doesn't hold up as well as You Were.
Yep.
And it sure as hell doesn't hold up to any kind of Oasis. There are some songs on here, like we said before, I would listen to over and over again, and I would continue to enjoy.
Yep.
But I gave it a 5. What did you give it, Josh?
I gave it a 4.
A 4.
So there's the difference.
There we go.
There's the difference
there we
maker.
Go. That's the difference.
You love Liam, eh? You just couldn't help but give him a 5.
I'm sorry, I'm a Noel fan.
Yeah, it's got it's a little caveat.
Yeah.
No, I don't think this album has really much longevity at all. I think it is a fleeting moment in Liam's career. Mm-hmm. Now That I Found You undoubtedly will go on as one of the classic Liam songs.
Right.
As Shockwave might as well. But Shockwave is the kind of song, you know what, I don't want to, harp on Shockwave too much, because I feel like that would be a good song to play at a stadium.
Right.
Which is kind of what even Oasis was going for with some of their later songs. They just wanted to write songs that were fun to play live. Mm-hmm. So I like Shockwave, I think, has longevity. I think for what it's worth. No, Now That I Found You.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, what is that?
That's from his first
album.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, so now.
Oh man, we're starting to mix it up. It's too late.
That is a good song though.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Yeah.
But Now That I Found You, Shockwave, those are two songs that I think are gonna go on and outlive this album. Right. The rest of this album, I do not think is gonna survive outside of 2019. Mm-hmm. If anything, I don't think it really survived outside of September 2019.
Yeah. They're sort of dead on arrival.
It was dead on arrival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, final thoughts. How you feeling?
What
do you feel, Josh?
I'm glad we listened to it because I probably would have never discovered Be Still, which I still think is a standout track.
Great song.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
Now that we've talked about it so much, I'm kind of looking forward to listening to it again.
Yep.
And I kind of want to listen to Gone because I want to hear the ending and I want to really soak that in again. Mm-hmm. But, the thoughts we had going into this album, because we did kind of have a bit of an opinion just from having tried to listen to this album when it came out and not being able to do so successfully. Mm-hmm. A lot of those opinions are still kind of sticking around with me in the sense that I don't think, none of this album is gonna get put into any of my playlists, aside from the 2 or 3 songs that I mentioned. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna even remember what any of these songs sound like in a month from now. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have the notes on my phone, but I'm not going to remember.
Yeah.
So, this... And I've been really excited about Liam, having been a huge Oasis fan. And I've been excited about his return to music ever since, I heard about his first album. And as much as I like it, there's this underlying just lack of originality in what Liam is doing.
Right.
Which I think is a bigger picture that he needs to address on his next album. Otherwise, his next album is going to be even more dead on arrival. I don't want to hear As You Were Part 3.
Right.
And I worry that that's what we're going to get based off of Liam's entire history with, BDI and then now these guys and now with whoever he's writing with now. Mm-hmm. I'm not very hopeful for the future of Liam Gallagher's solo music.
Yeah. I'm honestly just hoping for the best. you know,
Yeah, that's all you can do.
We both very much respect Liam. We very much like or love Liam. You know, we do. We care about Liam very much.
Yep.
And we just don't want to see him, you know, fall down into this sort of pit of just writing generic bad songs. So, you know, we did the math.
Yep.
And you gave it a 6.
I gave it a 5.6.
A 5.6. Okay.
Yeah, that's the weighted average between all 5 of my categories.
Right.
6 for music, 7 for lyrics, 7 for vocals, 4 for instant replay, 4 for longevity. Added up, divided by 5, I get a 5.6.
Yeah. So
and you got a 6?
I got a 6.
You got a 6.
Yeah.
So we're pretty at the same level with our opinion on this album. I think we're both fairly underwhelmed.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah. Some good songs.
Couple good songs.
You know.
Majority of them
dead.
Yeah.
Just dead on arrival.
Yep.
That's all you can do.
That's the worst part is as soon as you turn on a song, that feeling of being underwhelmed. And just knowing that that the song's not going to take you anywhere that you want it to go or that you want to be taken.
Right.
So.
Yep. Our final thoughts on the album.
Yeah, I gave you mine. Do you have any?
No, I'm sorry, but that's pretty much it.
That's it.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I hope for the best with the next album.
Yeah, and we're honestly looking forward to it.
Yep.
That's all we can say.
Yep.
Looking forward to what's just down the road.
Yep.
Really hope we get something good, something memorable.
Something exciting.
Something exciting. Of course, we're going to review it.
Of course.
Right? Of course, we have to.
Yep.
You know, and what about our next album?
But our next album. All right, so here's where we're going to talk about this. We're going to flip a coin right now, and this is going to determine the foreseeable future of who gets to decide the albums.
Right. I have a pick.
I think there's coins in that little jar there, below what you're doing.
Oh, right, there are coins.
Yep. So we're gonna flip a coin, and whoever wins this coin flip is going to decide the next album that we review next week.
Yep.
And then from then on, we're just gonna take turns.
Yeah, we'll just go back and forth and kind of, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, it'll kind of show the audience like what we like and.
Yeah.
And you know, we'll try to introduce something new to each other,
Yeah.
or we'll just pick an album that we know we both like.
Exactly.
And we'll kind of dive deeper into like the history behind songs and sort of, you know, see if we can pick up some kind of influence from them, and you know, let's just see where that goes. So, are your heads or tails?
I am tails because tails never fails.
Okay, I'll be heads.
And it is.
Oh, it's tails.
It's tails. Thank you, because that's a moose head. All right, so. Do I have an album?
Do you have an album?
Well, we're going to do the new Harry Styles album, which comes out this Friday.
Oh, wow.
Let me look this up real quick, what the name of it is. I have it right in my music here.
Oh.
It's called Fine Line by Harry Styles.
Okay.
There's already 3 singles out. Watermelon Sugar, Adore You, and Lights Up. I think it's going to be a fun album, but we're going to save our opinions for next week.
Yes. We can't talk about it. This is the most painful part.
This is.
About listening to music, because we look at each other and we just want to scream
our opinions
at each other.
Yeah.
But we can't.
Which is what we used to do.
Yes.
And now we found a more constructive and reasonable means of doing that.
Yes.
We yell into the microphone.
Yes.
Not
at you.
Yes, at you, the listener.
And still at each other.
Yeah.
Because we're currently sitting across from each other with a microphone.
Yeah.
Balancing in between us.
Yeah. So we don't have to change what we're doing, and now we get to include you.
Right.
Okay, so I think that is it for this review.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
Yep.
Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll
Goodbye.
see you next week.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.